Meet Mark and Sarah. He is a 44-year-old operations manager making $115,000 a year. She is a school administrator earning $72,000. Together, they bring home more money than 89% of American households. They have 2 nice cars, a home with plenty of equity, and retirement accounts that they regularly fund. By every outside measure, they are winning at life. But last March, Sarah's car transmission blew out, costing $4,200. Because they did not have the cash, they had to put the entire bill on a credit card. Something is deeply wrong with this picture, and it has nothing to do with the broken transmission. Most financial advice treats wealth like a finish line. People think it is a specific number you hit, a high net worth you reach, or a retirement account you finally fill up. But that way of thinking misses a huge structural piece of the puzzle that changes everything. What truly separates financially free people from financially anxious ones is not how much money they make. Instead, it is about which level of financial problems they have permanently escaped. I am Elite Invest, and I spend a lot of time thinking about how money is built, probably more than most people think about money itself. If you want to understand exactly why high earners still stay broke while average earners sometimes retire early, subscribe and give this video a like. That is the exact question this channel exists to answer. Most people believe a very simple idea. If you earn more money, you will stress less. It makes perfect sense, and it is exactly what every pay raise feels like it is promising you. For decades, this idea worked because for most of human history, a higher income truly did mean more stability. But there is a major crack in that logic today. Studies show that American families earning between $100,000 and $150,000 report almost the exact same levels of financial anxiety as families earning between $60,000 and $80,000. They have the same stress levels and the same late-night worries. Their income doubled, but their peace of mind did not follow. This is not a mindset problem, and it is not just in people's heads. It is a structural problem with how we build our financial lives. The structure that nobody talks about is simple. Income is just a flow of water, but what actually protects you is the floor you build underneath yourself. Those are 2 completely different things. Unfortunately, most people spend their entire lives chasing a bigger flow of cash while completely ignoring the floor. To understand why this happens, we need to talk about a concept called the problem floor. The problem floor is the level of financial problems that you have permanently escaped. This does not mean problems you are temporarily avoiding or just currently managing. It means problems that you have categorically solved so they can never hurt you again. Most people never notice this floor because almost all financial advice focuses on accumulation. Experts tell you to save more, earn more, and invest more. But accumulating money without raising your floor is exactly like pouring water into a bucket with a big hole in the bottom. You can keep pouring faster and faster, but you will always feel like you are falling behind. Every single wealth level we are going to look at in this video is defined by something different. It is not defined by a specific number in your bank account. Instead, it is defined by which problems can no longer touch you. That is the lens we need to use, and that is exactly what we are mapping out today. Think about hiking up a mountain. When you're standing at sea level, the weather can easily kill you. You have to worry about hypothermia, flash floods, and being completely exposed to the elements. You end up spending every single bit of your energy just trying to survive the harsh conditions around you. But if you climb up to 2,000 feet, the flash floods can no longer reach you. You still have to deal with the cold wind and the chilling air, but a whole category of danger is completely gone. You do not even have to think about it anymore because you are standing above it. Once you push higher and reach 5,000 feet, a totally different set of risks disappears. You are safer simply because of where you are standing on the mountain. Financial wealth works exactly the same way. Moving up to each new level does not just give you more money to spend. Instead, it safely closes off an entire category of financial threat forever. The true goal of building wealth is not just to have more stuff. It is to keep climbing higher until fewer and fewer problems can actually reach out and touch you. The big mistake Mark and Sarah made is that they are still standing right at sea level. They just bought some very expensive hiking gear to wear while staying there. Let us make these 4 levels easy to understand. Level 1 is the survival floor. At this level, you can cover your basic bills for just this month. That means rent, utilities, and the smallest payments on your debt, but nothing else. In America, about 57% of adults live right here, or just one paycheck away from it. A single $3,000 surprise, like a medical bill, a broken car, or losing a job, will push them backward. Even though Mark and Sarah make $187,000 together, they are still stuck at this level. Their fixed monthly bills swallow up 91% of their take-home pay. Level 2 is the cushion floor. Here, you have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up in cash. Also, you have enough leftover money each month that small problems do not turn into huge disasters. The average family needs about $18,400 to reach this safe floor. Most people never save this much. It is not because they cannot earn the money, but because they buy more expensive things every time they get a raise. Level 3 is the investment floor. At this stage, your investments make enough money to help pay for your daily life. It does not pay for everything, but it helps out. For example, if your investments make $1,500 a month and your life costs $6,000 a month, you have covered 1/4 of your floor. At this level, losing your job is just an annoying problem, not a scary emergency. Sadly, the average American at retirement age only has about $87,000 saved. That only gives them about $290 a month to spend, so they're nowhere near level 3. Level 4 is the freedom floor. This is when your passive income, money you make without working, pays for your entire lifestyle. Working becomes a choice, not something you have to do. You do not need $10 million to do this. A person whose life costs $62,000 a year only needs $1.55 million in investments to reach level 4. The big difference between level 1 and level 4 is not talent. It is simply how fast you are raising your floor rather than how much money you are bringing home. Mark and Sarah are stuck at level 1, and they have been living this way for 11 long years. When Mark turned 33, he got his very first management job. To celebrate, they moved into a bigger, nicer apartment. At 36, Sarah got a permanent position at her school, so they went ahead and bought a house. When Mark turned 39, he received a big 22% raise. With that extra money, they bought a second car and signed both of their kids up for expensive private activities after school. Each of these lifestyle upgrades felt totally earned, and they truly were. But here is what actually happened to their financial floor. It never moved at all. Every single time their income went up, the extra cash was immediately swallowed by higher monthly bills. The mortgage, the 2 car payments, the private school fees, and all the monthly subscriptions or costs that they cannot just cancel with a quick phone call. These bills are structural, meaning they are locked into their daily life. Today, those bills eat up $14,200 out of their $15,600 monthly take-home pay. Sarah used to tell herself that their retirement account was their safety floor. But a retirement account that you cannot touch until you are nearly 60 years old without paying a big penalty is not a real floor today. It is just a future floor. In the present moment, they only have $1,400 of actual wiggle room each month. That small amount of money is their only buffer against a world that regularly throws unexpected problems at them, like a $4,200 car repair. Now, at 44 years old, Mark is thinking about taking on a 60-hour consulting job on top of his regular full-time work. He is not doing this to build real wealth or to climb to the next level. He is doing it just to pay off the $4,200 they had to put on their credit card. He is not building a level 2 cushion. He is simply trying to protect his spot at level 1 using the exact same tiring tools that kept him there in the first place. Why does this happen to smart people who understand money? It is not because they are foolish or uneducated. Instead, it happens because of the way our brains are naturally wired. Whenever you get more money, your brain completely gets used to that new way of living within about 90 days. What feels like a wonderful bonus in the first month feels like a totally normal baseline by the third month. That new lifestyle quickly becomes the new floor you feel forced to defend, even when it is not financially safe for you. There's also a second powerful force at work, which is the desire to match the people around us. Mark and Sarah are not spending their money randomly. They're spending it to stay in line with their friends and coworkers, the other managers, the other school administrators, and the other families in their neighborhood. Every single upgrade they made sense in their situation. For most of human history, keeping up with the people around you was a smart survival habit. It was a clear signal that you were doing well within your tribe. The real trouble is that modern life uses this ancient human instinct against us. Your fixed bills grow silently in the background, while your pay raises are loud and visible. Because of this, you feel like you are winning the income game, but you are quietly losing the floor game. The financial system around us is not neutral. It is actually designed to capture every single dollar of your new raise before you can even decide to use it on purpose. Standard financial advice always tells you to earn your way to freedom. They tell you that if you just make more money, all of your problems will vanish. But the real truth is very different. You actually floor your way to freedom. The person who is only chasing a higher income is running on a financial treadmill. Every single time they run faster and make more money, the treadmill speeds up. More income leads to a more expensive lifestyle. A more expensive lifestyle creates more fixed bills and obligations. Then, those heavy bills mean they need to earn even more income just to stay afloat. The treadmill never changes. The only thing that changes is how fast it forces you to run. The person who focuses on building solid floors is doing something completely different. They're not constantly asking themselves how they can earn more money. Instead, they're asking a much better question. What is my problem floor right now? And what will it cost me to raise it up by just one level? Those two questions are totally different, and they lead to completely different lives. Mark and Sarah have a high income that puts them in the top 15% of all American earners. However, their actual problem floor places them in the bottom 60% of American financial security. It is the exact same household, but they're living in two completely opposite realities at the exact same time. Their income did not lie to them. They were simply measuring their success with the wrong ruler. Understanding this can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've spent years working toward the wrong goal. But that discomfort is actually good information. It means your mental map is finally updating. Here is exactly what you need to do with it. First, calculate your actual problem floor level. Look at your last bank statement and add up every single fixed bill that you cannot cancel with a single phone call. This includes your mortgage or rent, car payments, minimum debt payments, insurance, monthly subscriptions, and school tuition. That total amount is your structural floor. Now, divide that number by your monthly take-home pay. If that ratio is above 75%, you are living at level 1, no matter how much money you earn. Write that number down because it is the only number that matters this week. Second, find your next floor target and figure out what it costs. To reach level 2, you need cash savings equal to 3 to 6 months of your actual monthly expenses. Calculate that exact amount. For example, if your monthly life costs $7,800, your level 2 goal is between $23,400 and $46,800. Focus on that specific number, instead of just telling yourself to save more money. Divide that target number by 12 to find your annual floor building budget. If you cannot afford to save that much with your current income and bills, it tells you something critical about the trap you are in. You now know exactly what problem you need to solve. Third, check one fixed cost to see if you can reverse it. Look at your 3 biggest fixed bills outside of your housing. For each one, ask yourself if you could completely get out of it within 30 days if your income suddenly dropped by 40%. If the answer is no, then you have a structural trap rather than a simple lifestyle choice. You do not need to cut that expense today, but you must know what it is. The next time you get a raise, the system will try to trick you into adding another permanent bill, just like it. The person who raises their problem floor slowly and carefully will eventually reach a level where a broken car transmission is just an annoying day, not a financial disaster. This is not a fantasy. It is the math of building floors over time. By the time Mark and Sarah turned 54, they could easily be at level 3. The math completely allows it. The only real question left is whether they will keep mistaking a high income for safety or if they will finally start building the floor that actually protects them.